So trigonometric ratios and identities, a very important one, not for this year, not only for this year, and next year also we have a mini application connected with the trigonometry. Already we started the trigonometry in 9th standard, 10th standard also we studied some trigonometric identities. Now here it is a continuation of that, right? So again, in trigonometry, first we start with the definition of an angle. So what is the definition of an angle? Angle is formed when a line is rotated about a point. Angle is formed when a line is rotated about a point. You can see the line OA, and O is the point, though we can call it as a origin. When this line is rotated, then angle will be formed, right? So when we are measuring the angle of angles, there are two ways we can measure. One is called a degree measure, and another one is called a radian measure. One is a degree measure and another one is a radian measure. So first we write the definition, already you know. So angle is formed. Angle is formed when a line is rotated about a point. It's a general definition for the angle about a point. So I have a point here, and this is the line. When this line is rotated to some point, so initially OA is the line. When it's rotated, after rotating, the point, new point will be B. Then the angle will be formed. So I want to measure this angle. To measure this angle, two measurement we are using. One is called a degree measure, and another one is called a radian measure. So degree measure, measurement or British system, we are using the degree. So in that one, if we take a right angle, so you know what is a right angle, already we know. In the right angle is a 90 degree angle will be 90 degrees there. So this will be divided into 90 equal part. 7, 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, like this. All are equal. 90 equal part. When you divide this right angle into a 90 equal part, each part is called a 1 degree. Each part is called a 1 degree. So you can see a right angle is divided into 90 equal parts, and each part is called a degree. And so right angle is equal to 90 degree. That's why we say right angle equal to 90 degree. So 1 degree is denoted by 1 degree, like this. Again, if you take the degree, again you can suppose this is the 1 degree. This is the 1 degree. This 1 degree is divided into 60 equal part. 60 equal part, and it is called a minute. So 1 degree will be equal to 60 minutes. Again, we take a minute. Suppose this is a 1 minute. This 1 minute is divided into 60 equal part. Then it is called a second. So 1 minute equal to 60 seconds. It's clear? So this is, we are explaining here. So 1 right angle equal to 90 degree, point number 1. So 1 degree will be equal to 60 minutes, and 1 minute will be equal to 60 seconds. Therefore, we can say that 1 degree will be equal to 60 into 60 seconds. If you want to write, if you want to convert to second, you have to use this one. 1 degree will be equal to 60 seconds. Hope it is clear. Yeah, you can note it down also. Definition of an angle. Then the first measure, degree measure. So right angle will be equal to 90 degree. Now, another measure is called a radian measure. The second measure is called a radian measure. So what is the definition of a radian measure? Suppose I have a circle with some radius. Say radius is r. And I measure this angle here. The the boundary also. Suppose this distance is r up to this. Then I join here also. So OA is a radius and OB is also a radius. OA is a radius and OB is also a radius. How do you get OB? OB is a radius when the distance from A to B is equal to the radius. Suppose the radius is 5 centimeter. What we do? We take that, we call it as an arc length. Arc length also 5 centimeter. At that time, we join O to that point, end point. That is OB. Then we see what about this measure. That measure is called a 1 radian. So what is the definition of a 1 radian? 1 radian is the measure of an angle when the arc length is equal to the radius. Arc length is equal to the radius. Arc length means this boundary length. When the arc length is equal to the radius, say for example, if radius is a 10 centimeter, what do? You take the arc length also 10 centimeter. From A to 10 centimeter you take. At that time, what is the angle formed? That angle will be the 1 radian. So what is the definition of a radian? 1 radian is the, you can write, radian is the measure of angle. Radian is the measure of the angle. Measure of the angle when the arc length is equal to the radius. Arc length is equal to the radius. When the arc length is equal to, I think you can see the screen. Yeah, when the arc length is equal to the radius. You can see here. So a radian is the angle subtended at the center of a circle by an arc equal in length to the radius of the circle. That means you can say OA is equal to radius. This arc length is also r. At that time, the angle is 1 radian. Usually denoted by 1c. This is a notation. 1c. So if you take a full circle, what will happen? Full circle means what about the arc length? Arc length means full. Suppose if I take the radius is equal to 1, the radian will be equal to 2 pi radian. At that time, what about the total angle formed? Total angle formed will be 360 degree. So this is a relation connecting the radian measure and a degree measure. So we need the radian measure and a degree measure. What is the relation connecting radian and a degree? The relation is 2 pi radian will be equal to 360 degree. 2 pi radian equal to 360 degree. So 2 pi radian means the total arc length. Total arc length. It means perimeter of a circle actually. Perimeter of a circle with the radius r. If I take a unit circle, what will happen? The radius will be equal to 1. At that time, this will be 2 pi radian will be equal to 360 degree. So what about the pi radian? Pi radian means if I take the half circle. So pi radian will be equal to 180 degree. Pi by 2 radian will be equal to 90 degree. And pi by 4 will be equal to 45 degree. And pi by 3 will be equal to 60 degree. And pi by 6 will be equal to 30 degree. The relation connecting a radian and a degree measure. Is it clear? Any question? Ayan, Siddiq, Umar, is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. One more important thing, we can define a pi based on this also. So pi can be defined. How do you know what is a pi value? Pi value will be equal to 3.14. It is a irrational number. It is approximate value only. You can define pi as the ratio of a circumference of a circle to its diameter. When you divide a circumference with its diameter, you will get a pi. Because circumference means perimeter, it will be 2 pi r will be the circumference. When it divided by diameter, diameter is 2r. If r is a radius, the diameter will be 2r. So what will happen? R and 2 will get cancelled, you will get a pi. So pi will be defined as 2 pi r will be the circumference. So you can say the circumference divided by diameter will be the pi. The ratio of circumference of a circle to its diameter will be the pi. That also you can write. Okay. One more, the relation important. One is we can have a relation between arc length, radius, and angle. Arc length, radius, and angle. Suppose it's a circle and arc length is L, radius is R, and this angle will be theta. So we can say theta R equal to, or theta will be equal to L by R, or L will be equal to R theta. Arc, where L is the arc length. So arc length will be equal to radius multiplied by the corresponding angle. Okay, now you see, can you convert to radian measure? Radian measure means the degree and the radian we can have the conversion. That means pi radian will be equal to 180 degree. So this you can memorize. Whenever you want to convert to radian to degree or degree to radian, remember pi radian will be equal to 180 degree. Therefore, what about 1 radian? 1 radian will be equal to 180 degree divided by pi. Suppose if you are asked to convert
Pi by 1.
One radian will be equal to 1 radian. 1 radian will be equal to 180 by pi. 1 degree will be equal to pi by 180 radian. 1 degree will be equal to pi by 180. So if you want to convert to degree to radian, you have to multiply by pi by 180. If you want to convert to radian to degree, you have to write 180 divided by pi. So no need to memorize separately, just memorize this only. Pi radian will be equal to 180. If I ask you, what about say 10 radian equal to dash degree? So what do you do? 10 radian will, 1 radian will be 180 by pi. So 10 radian will be equal to 10 multiplied by 180 divided by pi. This is a degree. So in this case, pi you can give the value 3.14 and simplify, and you can write as a radian. This relation is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see this question. I want to convert 45 degree, 20 minute and 10 second to a radian measure. So what do you do? If it is a degree, we can easily convert. So what we do? First, we convert 45 degree, 20 minute, 10 second to a degree. How much degree is there? Then from the degree, we can convert to the radian. So how to do this one? 45 degree, there is no issue. So we can write as 45 degree. Now 20 minute, we need to convert to degree. How do you know convert? We know that 1 degree will be equal to 60 minutes. So what about 1 minute? 1 minute will be equal to 1 by 60 degree. 1 minute will be equal to 1 by 60 degree. So what about 20 minutes? So 20 minute will be equal to, we can write 20 divided by 60 degree. That means 1 by 3 degree. So we can write as, so this is 45 degree, then plus each one you can write. So 20 minute will be equal to 1 by 3 degree. 20 1 by 3 degree. Again, you have a 10 second. And you know that one, what is a 1 degree will be equal to how much? 60 into 60 minute. Right? 60 because, yeah, 60 into, so 3600 second. So what about 1 second? 1 second will be equal to 1 divided by 3600 degree. So 10 second will be equal to 10 divided by 3600 degree. That means 1 by 360. So plus 1 by 360 degree. So we converted 45 degree, 20 minute and 10 second into a degree. First we simplify, your answer will be in degree. Now we want to convert to radian. So degree to radian, what's the relation? Multiply by pi by 180. Multiply this value by pi by 180. That will be the corresponding radian measure. I hope it is clear. So please check that one. So first what we do, we convert the degree 45 degree, 20 minute and 10 second into a degree measure. So it will be 45 plus 1 by 360 plus 1 by 3, the total. So it will be 16,321 by 360 degree. So this is a degree measure corresponds to that. From degree, we need to convert to radian. How to convert to radian? 1 degree will be equal to pi by 180. Here we have written that 1 degree will be equal to pi by 180. Therefore, you multiply 16,321 by 360 into pi by 180 radian. So that is the answer for the question. I hope you have written, everyone. Okay, now second question. The angle of a triangle are in the ratio 3:4:5. Find the smallest angle and radians, corresponding radians. Okay, direct question. Okay, you can try this question. 1 minute take, and you can try this question. So, so you will get the smallest angle will be 45 degree. So 45 degree convert to radian measure. 45 degree is equal to pi by 4 radian. Similarly, whenever you have a 30 degree or 60 degree, try to convert to radian measure. So the 45 degree will be equal to pi by 4 radian. 30 degree will be equal to pi by 6 radian. That relation also, make sure that you know that. Okay, fine. Do this question. The wheel of a railway carriage is 4 feet in diameter and makes 6 revolutions in a second. Per second, it makes 6 revolutions. Then what is the question? Find the speed of the train. So you know that one. Speed means distance by time. So you have to find the distance, the total distance you have to find. It is given in second. So that distance per second will be the speed. Okay, can you try and send me the answer? So everyone, please send this answer to me. What is answer you are getting? It's a diameter is given. Diameter of the wheel is given so that we can find the total distance. Okay, now see. So what is the total distance? How do you find that one? Because it is a wheel means it is a circle in shape, right? Therefore, the total length means when it makes a one revolution, the total distance covered is the circumference of the wheel. So for one revolution, it will cover one circumference of the wheel. One circumference means it will be 2 pi r. If r is the radius, of the wheel, in one revolution it will cover 2 pi r distance, where r is the radius. What is the radius here? It is the diameter is given, so radius will be equal to 2 feet. It will be equal to 2 feet. So therefore, it is equal to 2 pi into 2, one revolution. So 6 revolution, it will be 6 into, in 6 revolution, the total distance covered in 6 revolution will be equal to 6 times 2 pi into 2. Therefore, the speed will be this divided by the second, per second, because it is given in the unit will be given in per second, right? So you can see the circumference will be 2 pi r, where r is 2, so it will be 4 pi feet will be the circumference. So a number of the revolution is given 6, so total distance covered will be 6 times 4 pi. So 24 pi feet per second, or 24 multiplied with 3.14. That is 75.36, around 75.36 feet per second. I think it is clear now. Continue now. So now slowly we move to trigonometry ratio. Already we discussed this one. No need further explanation. So usually whenever we discuss a trigonometry ratio, we take the right triangle, hypotenuse, the side opposite to 90-degree hypotenuse, and adjacent side and opposite side. Right? Then we have a 6 trigonometric ratio. One is sin theta, cos theta, and tan theta. So sin theta will be equal to opposite side by hypotenuse. Cos theta will be equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse, and tan theta will be equal to opposite side by adjacent side. Then you can have a cosecant theta, CSC theta, sec theta, and cot theta. Cosecant theta will be opposite of sin theta. That means h divided by o. Sec theta will be opposite of cos theta. That is h divided by a, and cot theta will be equal to opposite of tan theta. And we have these relations also. Cosecant theta will be equal to 1 over sin theta, because they are reciprocal to each other. Similarly, sec theta will be equal to 1 over cos theta, and cot theta will be equal to 1 over tan theta. So these things we discussed. Just a review already, because these things you studied in 9th standard as well as in the 10th standard. Okay, fine. Now, if you say an important one, graph of a trigonometry. So in the 10th standard, we didn't give much importance to the graph, but here we need the graph of the trigonometry functions, how it behaves. So we can see the graph of sin x is this. Sin theta will be equal to, so sines different value already we studied in 10th standard. We know what is sin 0 will be equal to 0, and sin 45 will be equal to 1 by root 2. Say sin 30 will be equal to half, and sin 60 will be equal to root 3 divided by 2, and sin 90 will be equal to 1. So when it is sin 90, it will be reaches to 1. So you can have a one curve like this. It's not a straight line, it is a curve like this. 30 degree means we have pi by 6 and pi by 4, pi by 3. So slowly it moved to. So when the angle changed from 0 to 90 degree, 0 to 90 degree, sine graph increases from 0 to 1. That is one observation. If you draw a line, the circle like this, so this is a 0 degree and this is a 90 degree, right? So when the angle varies from 0 to 90 degree, what happens to the sine theta? Sine theta varies from 0 to 1. It is increasing. So increasing in the first quadrant, that also you can say. The sine theta increases in the first quadrant. As the theta increases from 0 to 90 degree, the value of sine theta increases from 0 to 1. Again, 90 to 180, when you observe what will happen sine to 180 degree. So this is a 180 degree, sine 180, it will be equal to 0 and sine 90, it will be 1. Definitely it should decrease. Then only the value 1 becomes 0. So in the pi by 2 to pi by 2 is here. In the second quadrant, what will happen? Pi by 2 to pi, the value decreases from 1 to 0. 1 to 0, it decreases. You can see here. Again, this is the value pi. In pi to 3 pi by 2, pi to 3 pi by 2, 3 pi by 2 is a point somewhere here. When sine 3 pi by 2, the value will be equal to minus 1. So sine 180, sine pi, the value will be 0. And sine 3 pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, the value will be equal to minus 1. Again, the value decreases and reaches the point minus minus 1. Again, 3 pi by 2 to 0, it again increases and reaches the point 0. This is the one curve, one wave. You can say one wave. It varies from 0 to 2 pi. 0 to 2 pi means one circle it covers. 0 to 2 pi, the different measurement of the angle. So the maximum value will always be 1. Maximum value will always be 1 and the minimum value of sine will be equal to minus 1. The same value repeats. That's why we call the trigonometry function, especially sin x, we call it as a periodic function. Periodic function because after a certain interval, the value repeats. So 0 to 2 pi, you can say one wave here. Again, the same wave repeats in the interval 2 pi to 4 pi. You can see here 2 pi to 4 pi, the same value, same way it repeats. The 0 to 2 pi is this, and the 2 pi to 4 pi is the same way, 4 pi to 6 pi, etc. Similarly, in the left side also, you can see the same thing, 0 to minus 2 pi. This is the one wave. Same way, it continue from minus 2 pi to minus 4 pi, etc. So some of the observation, one is the maximum value of sine theta will always be 1. It cannot be more than 1. It cannot be more than 1 and it cannot be less than minus 1. Whatever be the angle. You can give any, since it is a periodic function, you can give any value for this theta. I can give sine 720 degree or sine 1000 degree or sine minus 1000 degree or sine 1500 degree. Whatever be the angle you are giving, the maximum value of sin x will be equal to 1 and the minimum value of sin x will be equal to minus 1. Some interval it increases, some interval it decreases. In the first quadrant, this also please be note that first quadrant 0 to pi by 2 sine value increases from 0 to 1. First quadrant. Second quadrant sine decreases from 1 to 0. Third quadrant, again sine decreases from 0 to minus 1. That is the lowest value. Then in the fourth quadrant, you get minus 1 to 0. That means you can get all the values in that full wave from 0 to 2 pi. You can get the maximum value. At the same time, you can get the minimum value. Any question? Any question, anything? So please draw the graph and write this value because this value is already we discussed in 10th standard. So that we can draw a graph like this sine wave. Is it clear, students? Please respond, some of you. It's okay, or anything you want to add, please comment on that. The graph of cosine x. Sin x and cosine x look same. It is also you can call this as a continuous function. There is no, when I say continuous, we will have a formal definition later. The continuous means there is no break. You can give any value, positive x can be any value, any real number you can give for that x. It will give some value. Say sin 30, sin 80, sin 180, any value you can give, it will give some value. But always that value in the range -1 to +1. Okay. Let me ask one question connected with, already we discussed the relations and function. What about this sin x graph? Is it a function? If I say y equal to sin x, is it a function? Is it a function? Any reply? In the sets relation, we have a formal definition of a function. A relation from one set to another set. A relation is a function if there exists one and only one image from first set to another one, or unique image for every element in the first set. Unique image for every element in the first set. Now the question is, already now we have seen this trigonometry function sin x graph. Sin x function, is it a function? If I say f of x is equal to sin x, f of x is equal to sin x, is it a function or not? What is the answer? Ayan? Ayan? Ayan, are you there?
That's in charge.
Oh, you heard it. Okay, fine. Yeah. So this is a function, right? Why it is a function? Anybody can give the reason? When you look at the graph, we can see that. I told you, for every x, suppose I define a relation from real number to sin x. Say one side I have x is a real number. Any real number means any value on the x-axis. Here I write sin x. If you give any value, if you give any value in the x, there is a function in the range -1 to 1. That's all. Any value you give instead of this x, always it will give a one value. That means every element in x, there is an image in that. Every element. Only one image. You can see, if I take 30 degree, you will get a one value. 60 degree, you will get one value. 30 degree, if I give a 30 degree, if you get a two different value, then it is not a function. Say 30 degree, if I give, how many value you are getting? You are getting only one value. Therefore, it is always a function. Any value, it will be a function. But y value may repeat. That is not a problem for a function. Only we need to check whether the x value repeats or not. For same x, there should not be the same value. Right? So here it is a function. Or you can apply the vertical line test. You know the vertical line test, no? In order to check whether a graph is a function or not. A graph is a function or not. You can always go for a vertical line test. So what is a vertical line test? You draw a vertical line. You draw a vertical line on the graph. Anywhere you draw a vertical line and check how many points it meets on the graph. So you can see, if I draw a vertical line like this, how many points it means? Only 1 point it will miss. Right? Again, if I draw a vertical line, 1 point. So this is always a function. Okay, I think we are 6:46. 650. Okay, fine. Is it clear? Yeah, fine, correct. Because of any value of x, 1 sin x exists. So sin x is a function. Sin x is a function. Now another question is it a one-to-one function? That also we learned 1, 1. 1, 1 function means for 1x, there should be only 1 y. But here, for same value, we can get more than 1 value, right? Say sin 30 will be equal to half. Sin 30 also 1/2. Or sin 0, simple example is sin 0. Sin 0 is also 0. Sin 180 is also 0. That means if I give 0 here, 180 here, both will give the same value. Therefore, it is not a one-to-one, not one-to-one. One-to-one means different x should have a different image. Is it clear? Okay. Same way, the cos x graph also looks same, but the difference is when sin x is maximum, cos x will be minimum. We can see here in the origin, sin 0 will be 0. At that time, the cos 0 will be equal to 1. Here also, the maximum value will be 1 and the minimum value will be -1. But when sin is maximum, cos will be minimum. That only the difference. Remaining all same. The shape of the graph will all be same. But in the first quadrant, what will happen? First quadrant, sin or cos value decreases from 1 to 0. Sin value increases from 0 to 1. Cos value decreases from 1 to 0. So that observation should be noted. Okay. Because that is important. So I make the last point. This is the last point. Remaining we can continue in the next class. This is the important, very important one. Please note this. If you take the first quadrant, sin value in first quadrant, sin x or sin theta increases from 0 to 1 and cos theta decreases from 1 to 0. So what will happen? At one point, they will meet each other. Both the value will be same. That is a 45 degree. Sin 45 degree, sin theta and cos theta will be same. Therefore, if you take any region below 45 degree, 0 to 45 degree, cos theta will be more than sin theta. Very important observation we need for doing competitive questions. At that time, we need this observation. In the 0 to 45 degree, which will be more when we have a comparison between sin theta and cos theta will be more than sin theta in the 0 to 45 degree. But if you take the second part, that means 45 degree to 90 degree, this area, which will be more, sin theta will be more than cos theta. Sin theta will be more than cos theta. Please note the last point. In 0 to 45 degree, sin theta will be more than cos theta, and 45 to 90 degree, sin theta will be more than cos theta. I think we'll stop now. Thank you. So next class we'll continue this.